The horn is actually diegetic. That's funny. Say whatever you want about Repo as a gimmick, Barry Darso owned it and tried to go all out with what he was given. So the first thing you'll hear from this show is the fact that the entire broadcast is redubbed in places because this was a taped show from the week prior. Now, I don't really like the fact that it's a redub, but it does let the WWF give us the info they want up to date, even if the show isn't. A little bit of ruthless aggression from Savage. So, Savage starts by going on the attack. It's a nice opening sequence, and it's very textbook Savage, where he goes all out on the first string of offense, and then lets the other guy get a bit of offense while he shows off his selling. An easy layout of a match, but a good one. If you're wondering why the crowd is a bit flat, they've just watched this angle get set up and paid off in the same show with no prior build-up. It's a bit wonky, and actually funny. Savage does try to give his all to get the crowd with him. And I mean, he does. He's a legend. The one enjoyable thing about the commentary during this show is that Heenan is there, and for once, Vince McMahon has someone he can bounce off of. He's quite enjoyable every time the conversation gets serious about Flair and Perfect.
Where did they get this guy? Never mind.
That had to be a genuine comment from Heenan, but directed at Vince, basically. He also didn't know why the fuck Bartlett was here, and that dismissive never mind an explanation, I mean, it's quite funny. So, that wasn't the best commercial break in the world as Savage was about to go on the attack, and then he didn't? Alright, I mean, don't worry, the cut was extremely minimal. They can circumnavigate things like this thanks to it being taped. I actually like this match for this early era of Raw. Sure, it's slow, not too involved, but there's star power in there, and not in a squash match. This will be quite uncommon for a while, you'll see. Who reached up for that one, and then I guess it's just finish time. What a lovely elbow, my god. Savage wins, and that's always a good thing here. And he gets his hat back! Yes, that's all the feud was for. The first Mania 9 promo. Let's at least commend them for trying to make something different for Mania, more than just going at a stadium. Ladies and gentlemen, the Brooklyn Brawler. The most legendary jobber of all time? I mean, it's up there. The problem with a comedy match like this, even if you make it a squash, for people at home you need the commentary to be all out on the joke too. Like the fact that he pinned Brawler on the wrong side, that could have been good if they were talking about it for the first time that he did it.
Him over again. He's making a burrito out of him. Is that the first guy that got
Oh, the lack of reaction. That's indicative that this was never gonna work. Even if they give him something for the finish, it's just because they wanted him away. But hey, a reaction's a reaction.
Hey, come over here.
Nope, not touching that one. What the fuck? First stats for Ico Pro and Slim Jim on Raw. One's iconic, the other... It's time for the thing that matters tonight. Flair versus Perfect, and let's talk about it in details. First, commentary is actually really good, because once again, for once, Vince has someone to bounce off of with Bobby Heenan. Which is always a win, by the way. This will probably be the only time for a few weeks where I'll have something nice to say about the commentary. A nice sequence with a drop toe hold after shoulder block and Perfect trying to get behind. The match stays grounded, Flair and Perfect go hard with reversal wrestling holds.
Look at this. Perfect spin. Oh, no.
That chop actually has some insane noise. Flair flop. Flair begging. Look, this is the only time I can do this after he goes back to WCW. More slow offense and basically the same sequence reversal with chops. It works because of the intensity they put behind their moves. It's basically Flair's calling card. Earl Hebner actually leaping and eating the ground to get the chair away. Good transition into the break, by the way, because nothing happens but Flair and Hebner arguing, which is nice for the crowd, but not something we need at home. What an insane bump from Perfect. No wonder his body will give out before the end of the year. Heel tactics on full display by Flair. A bit of a break for a broader analysis. This match is slow. Yes, but it is by design for multiple reasons. First, because even without big moves, they're still going very intensely. And because, I mean, it's still also a Flair match. I like the low selling from the reverse atomic drop here, because, again, it makes sense and is, well, raw. Sleeper hold that, once again, stays pretty intense. And the crowd buys it. Back suplex, that is probably the most impactful move of the night without counting finishers. More cheating on the figure 4, and also, yeah, a figure 4. And when you see Flair going up, you know what comes after. Flair top rope bump. Weird knocks, but a good hit, and then a nice false finish. Would have been better without the foot on the rope, but it then makes the second pin actually have sense, since he didn't kick out of the first at all. Fists on the open wound makes sense and is raw. Intensity trash talking. Flair back body drop. Flair corner bump, avoidance, and then eating the fist from very high up on the top rope double axe handle attempt. Nice reversal. Perfect plex, and what a crowd pop too when he goes for the move. Flair is out of the WWF with that, and he goes back to WCW. The best thing of this match, Bartlett was pretty much silent throughout, and just led the whole commentary for Heenan's reactions. No, but in all honesty, I see people hyping this match up online as the best of Raw's early days, but we will have time to look at all of them, and this is a good match. Solid. I don't think, though, that it is a fantastic match. And overall, I don't think this episode is a fantastic episode. It's definitely the best so far, but it's not the best we will have. The Flair and Perfect match goes on for half of the broadcast, and thank God it does. As much as I'll say it's not an amazing match, it's still by far the best thing that happens on Raw for months, which, yes, is something to hold in its favor. On the other side, though, you have the Savage and Repo blow-off match, which is serviceable, and a Kamala match that is just more time padding than anything. This is then a bit of a tale of two halves. One is good, the other is passable at best. And so, this still averages out to the best rating yet at 6.75 out of 10. Next week, we will start February with a few matches and a couple of promos with the return from a certain strut and cunt individual involved.